Hello, Cancer, and welcome. I'm Adriana. I'm a soul guidance coach. I help sensitive, self reflective souls choose maximum growth. I have an intuitive message for you about your spiritual journey this week. Let's get started. Eight of Cups, Princess of Wands, High Priestess, and Four of Wands. So the cards on the inside are your inner world. Cards on the outside are circumstances or different indications in your outside world. It's going to depend on the energy and how it wants to come through for you. Okay, I'm being told to start on the outside, so let's go ahead with that. Then we have the Four of Wands and we have the Eight of Cups. Okay, let's talk about the Four of Wands. This is matters of home, foundation, and security. Okay, so these are all questions. This is being questioned in your outside world. What truly is home? And I know this is such a funny question for a Cancer, but let's think about this. What truly is home? Is it emotional connections? Is it a specific location? Is it possibilities? Is the idea of growth something that's home, or is the idea of growth something that's more static? We have the two kinds of homes here. This one we would recognize as a more traditional home, right? With four walls and a door. So you're protected and covered, but everything is kind of secure. But we also have this home, which is more of a home for a journeyer, someone who's less tied to a physical home and kind of carries their home with them. You can think of the idea of a snail, or kind of that wanderer idea where you have everything you need with you. And there's openness in that adventure here. But there's kind of being tied to a place here. And the reason why I'm asking you these questions about home is because we have this Eight of Cups tempering what's going on, which is leaving something behind, leaving an emotional connection, or leaving, actually, they're saying it's backwards. We're talking about leaving behind materials. We're talking about leaving behind physical things, leaving a physical place, or leaving something or someone behind, leaving behind an entire way of life and going on a completely different journey. And what's so interesting is that our traveler doesn't really have anything with him except his walking staff. And then we see that walking staff kind of imported over here with these in the ground. So Cancer, there's an openness that you're being asked to consider in your outside world. Being open to different possibilities, being open to the idea of home expanding a bit more, and maybe being a little bit more fluid, more flexible, less rigid. My home is here. So, okay, let me see if there's anything else that wants to come through for you. Okay, they're telling me to look at the ground, look at the floor. Okay, so we see oops, sorry about that. We have the path is being connected. Okay, and then we've also got this path. So there's something about the path being clear. Okay, I see what it is. When you're stuck inside this home, when you're looking inside this very rigid idea of what home is and how it works for you, there's not the possibility of seeing a path, of seeing a different place you could go, with seeing different options. In fact, there's a loss of the path in general because they're holding on so tightly to where you are right now. When you're inside with the door shut and your eyes closed, you can't see the road, right? It's that kind of thing. When you're so focused on holding on to things the way they are right now and never allowing them to change, you can't see that possibility for growth. You can't see your next step because you're not meant to be here to stay here, to stagnate. You're here to grow. Okay, let's look at the inner world now. Okay, we've got Princess of Wands, we have the High Priestess. Okay, I love these two cards together. Okay. Here we have the path again. You see how our Princess of Wands is on her path? And she's trying to find, she's just trying to find her way, right? She comes on her path and she walks into the High Priestess. And so in her heart, she's trying to find it. I'm saying she, but I'm meaning you. This aspect of yourself is just trying to find the right answers, trying to find the right thing to do. And she comes to the High Priestess. And the High Priestess asks her to let go and says to her, it's time to reach into that space that is so much bigger than you, but has your benefit in the forefront of its mind. It's time to reach deep into that place where your higher self resides. And it's time to reach deep into that place that is beyond emotion, that is beyond attachment, that is the core of your spirituality. It's time to reach into that place and ask that place for guidance. You know, it's really interesting because in all of these cards that we've picked up, except for the High Priestess, the figures are alone. There's no one else on these cards. In this High Priestess, there's a tiny little cat right there. I like to call cats familiars, and I'll call dogs familiars as well. So the High Priestess is not alone. She has this animal, if you want to call it avatar, spirit guide, or extension of herself that accesses that space between worlds. Cats are nocturnal, yet they're also in our world in the daytime. You know, they sleep all day. So being nocturnal gives them that ability to access that liminal space where the truth resides. This is a little bit difficult, Cancer, because you're being asked to go down so far deep into yourself that it may involve walking through some of your fears, walking through some of your shadows, walking through things that are not comfortable to walk through. But down in this space, you see that there's calm water down here and there's openness on either side of her. So once you're past that space and you get to a place of emotional calm, the decision you have to make, the next step you have to take, and the place you're being asked to go becomes very clear. Like I said, the emotional water is calm, so you're not feeling one way or another, you're feeling neutral, you're feeling okay. But it's almost as if you're in this state that's beyond yourself. Princess of Wands, we would call her, you know, Princess whatever, and we'd give her a name. But we would never say High Priestess name, High Priestess this, High Priestess with a human name after it, because High Priestess is her role. She's almost not human. She doesn't have an ego because when you're receiving information, you can't have a personality. I know that sounds super weird, but when you're in this space of channeling higher information, you can't have a bias or a filter or a preference because you have to just receive what comes through you without attachment. So Cancer, you're able to access this space inside. And I know that the information and the wisdom is all there waiting for you. The journey this week is about coming into that space and allowing yourself to go down deep enough to get to that place of clarity. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe and share this channel if you haven't already. I would also invite you or just let you know that I offer one-on-one intuitive readings as well as extended soul guidance sessions. So if you're in need of some deeper support, please check out my website, soulguidancewithadriana.com. There's a link in the description below. I'll look forward to seeing you next time, and have a good week, Cancer.